Dear students, in this small video, I will be discussing the history of the special status to Jammu and Kashmir, which does not exist today. Article 370 has been abrogated, abolished. Jammu and Kashmir has been integrated. But from history point of view, it is very important for everyone to know the situation, the circumstances in which the state of Jammu and Kashmir was integrated, the special terms and conditions, the question about its future, which to some extent remains unresolved given the fact that Pakistan illegally forcefully occupies the portion of Kashmir, that is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So in this light, we will briefly try to understand that why Jammu and Kashmir was given a special status during that episode of integration of princely states, and in what circumstances even the Constituent Assembly of India agreed to allow Jammu and Kashmir to have a separate constitution, while the government of India would have limited jurisdiction over only certain subjects over it. It's a very, very pertinent question. Often this question is also raised in different academic circles, that what were those circumstances in which the government of India referred this matter to UNSC? Was the decision to internationalize the Kashmir war that was going on a prudent decision? So all of this has something that has always been discussed, and even now. So I thought to make a small video on this so as to engage with you and help you to understand this topic better. My name is Chandrabhan Singh. I teach at Vajiram and Ravi, and I am associated with the history team in both GS and optional. And this is a topic of post-independent India. Now, when we talk about the circumstances or the causes why Jammu and Kashmir was offered a special status, and what are the causes of it? First, I would say the distinct history of Jammu and Kashmir. If you ask, distinct history of Jammu and Kashmir. What is the history of Jammu and Kashmir, and what role the political history of Jammu and Kashmir also plays in its integration? Now, if we talk about Jammu and Kashmir, it was not always one. In fact, the state of Jammu was ruled by the Dogra Rajputs, and until 1819, if we see the political history of it, until 1819, Kashmir as a state was ruled by Pashtun Durrani tribes from Afghanistan. So it was under the rule of the Afghans, and in 1819, it was acquired by Maharaja Ranjit Singh of Punjab, and from 1819 to the first Anglo-Sikh War, Kashmir was an integral part of the state of Punjab. When the Britishers defeated the state of Punjab in the first Anglo-Sikh War, so it is 1845-46. After this, by the Treaty of Lahore, 1846, Kashmir was acquired by East India Company. It became a East India Company territory. Few months later, East India Company transferred the control of Kashmir to an ally state, that is Jammu, by a Treaty of Amritsar. So by the Treaty of Amritsar, Kashmir was now a part of Jammu, and hence the Maharaja of Jammu from the Dogra dynasty integrated Jammu and Kashmir, and hence we have the combined entity, and it was the Dogra dynasty that was ruling over Jammu and Kashmir at the time of independence. So we see the political history of Kashmir is that it was not an integral part of India for some time. It became a part of India in the medieval times. Then it was under the Afghan control. Then it was acquired by the Punjab ruler, then by East India Company. So it has been exchanging a lot of hands. Second, the state of Jammu and Kashmir presented a dilemma for the government of India. When the Britishers had announced the partition and also that the princely states must integrate with the dominion of India and Pakistan, then on 25th June, Louis Mountbatten, as the last viceroy of British government, he addressed an assembly of Maharajas and Nawabs, that is the chamber of princes, and in that he tried to convince, because now Mountbatten was trying to integrate most of the princely states with India. The Britishers and even Mountbatten wanted to maintain good relations with the government of India. They did not want that the princely states issue should remain unresolved, otherwise it would look like a blot, like it would besmirch the legacy of the colonial Raj. So in this meeting, very important meeting that happened on 25th June 1947, and in this meeting he tried to convince many of the Maharajas, Nawabs, and gave them logic why they should join India. In this meeting, Maharaja Hari Singh was also present, the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir. But Maharaja Hari Singh was very much clear that the state of Jammu and Kashmir will maintain good relations and equal relations with both Pakistan and India. And in this meeting, Mountbatten laid down two conditions for the integration of princely states with either of the dominion. Mountbatten said that, first of all, the integration of princely states must follow the two nations formula, means a Hindu majority state should ideally or should in all circumstances integrate with the dominion of India, whereas a Muslim majority state can integrate with Pakistan, because Pakistan was created on the basic demand of a separate political entity for the Muslims of the subcontinent. The second condition that he laid out in this meeting was geographical proximity, means that whenever any state joins or agrees to join a dominion, they must share boundary with that dominion. Now, in the case of Jammu and Kashmir, both these formulas create a complication which both Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Pandit Nehru was aware of, and even Sardar Patel was aware of. The demography of Jammu and Kashmir was complicated because the valley has a Muslim majority, the plains of Jammu has a Hindu majority, and the Ladakh region has a Buddhist majority. So there is no clear-cut demography. Second, the state of Jammu and Kashmir shares boundary with both India and Pakistan and very well can integrate with either of them. That is why Sardar Patel, Mountbatten and Pandit Nehru knew that we have to wait, we cannot apply too much of pressure on the Maharaja. In fact, on 15th August 1947, Maharaja Hari Singh was willing to sign a standstill agreement with Pakistan and also with the government of India, and he pledged to remain independent. And despite the fact that Louis Mountbatten went and personally met him and told him that you must, for the interest of Jammu and Kashmir and also for your position, join India. But he said that no, our army is strong enough to resist any pressure from these states. Now, while the government of India was playing the wait and watch approach, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, because of his declining health, did not have much time and patience. So, in October 1947, we know what happened, that Pakistani soldiers and the tribals, they attacked, but Pakistan said that we don't have any hand in this tribal invasion. We have no role in this. And when Maharaja Hari Singh and his army was unable to handle them, they asked for military help. But the government of India said that because there is no clear-cut Pakistan involvement, even if we knew it, we cannot send an army to help you because it would look like an act of aggression, giving Pakistan the excuse of a military exercise, so you must sign an instrument of accession. So, the circumstances in which the instrument of accession, because if in 48 hours, everybody knows this, that the Indian army would have not reached, then Srinagar would have fallen, Maharaja would have been taken captive, and he would have been forced to sign on any document which the government of Pakistan would have presented. So, the second reason why special status was also given, because it was not accession based on the will of the Maharaja, but it was delayed accession in October 1947 under special circumstances. That is a war and possible invasion. Even when this instrument of accession was signed, it was a conditional accession. So even in those times, in that circumstance, Maharaja Hari Singh had agreed to surrender only certain subjects to the government of India: defense, communication, foreign affairs, and possibly currency also. So it was a very special circumstance. We did not want to take advantage of it. We wanted this solution to the Kashmir issue, Jammu and Kashmir issue, to be resolved in a more democratic, in a more amicable manner. So that time we agreed, and even Sheikh Abdullah, who was from the beginning trying to push for integration of Jammu and Kashmir with India, who had been opposing the policies of Maharaja because it was discriminatory towards the educated Muslims. Even he, who was considered as a close friend of Pandit Nehru, demanded special status, demanded autonomy for the state of Jammu and Kashmir if and when it integrates. So, Government of India was under pressure, and it did not want to forcefully acquire the control over Jammu and Kashmir because of the circumstances, and also it would mean that India has not integrated, India has captured Jammu and Kashmir. Now, another reason why Jammu and Kashmir was given special status is because Mountbatten and Pandit Nehru believed that the permanent solution of Jammu and Kashmir will happen by a plebiscite, as it has been mandated by the UNSC. And this is a temporary provision. They believed that plebiscite will soon be held, and most of the people of the valley and Jammu would pledge to integrate with India. So let us allow for this temporary provision. But unfortunately, the conditions on which the plebiscite was to be held was never fulfilled, primarily by Pakistan. UNSC, when it declared a ceasefire in this conflict, had said that for the plebiscite to be held, two conditions are very important. One, Pakistan must vacate from POK. There must be no Pakistani army in Jammu and Kashmir. And second, there must be a minimum Indian government or Indian army presence so as to ensure that the plebiscite is fair and peaceful. But because Pakistan feared that if it withdraws from POK, then India will annex it, it never fulfilled, and therefore that boundary was accepted as the line of control. So the fifth reason why special status was given was because there was a belief, or there was a hope, both Louis Mountbatten and Jawaharlal Nehru envisaged that a plebiscite would be a permanent solution to the J&K issue. So it is very important for you to know that because the conditions could not be fulfilled, So the plebiscite did not happen, and hence for so many years the Article 370 remains. Now, even the Constituent Assembly of India, this issue was raised even in the Constituent Assembly. So even the Constituent Assembly members, they agreed on the principle that the relation between the government of India or between India and the state of Jammu and Kashmir shall be determined by the Constituent Assembly of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Not only now, but in future also. So we had pledged to honor this. So for all these decades, it was honored. It was also mentioned that in future, if the relation between the state of Jammu and Kashmir and the Indian Union has to change, then that proposal must come from the Constituent Assembly of the state. And if the Constituent Assembly of the state is not there, which was obviously not there after the adoption of the Jammu and Kashmir Constitution, then the State Council will have the powers of the State Constituent Assembly, and this was mentioned by the Presidential Order 1956. That is why when few years back Jammu and Kashmir special status was withdrawn, the governor of Jammu and Kashmir, exercising the same powers given by the Presidential Order 1956, asked for dissolution of Article 370 and for integration of Jammu and Kashmir with the Indian Union in a complete way. So that was something that was done according to the constitutional provisions and in a very democratic way. Now, historians and constitutional experts, what are the different opinions? Something that you must also know. What are the different opinions on Article 370? To what extent the provision of a special constitution to the state of Jammu and Kashmir was justified? What are the various opinions? Granville Austin, in his book The Indian Constitution, cornerstone of a nation, Granville Austin, who has written a detailed commentary on the Constituent Assembly debates and the idea behind adoption of many provisions, he has written that Article 370 was a political and constitutional bridge. He has written that it was a bridge to integrate Jammu and Kashmir peacefully and gradually. So we did not want to do it in a forceful way. Ramchandra Guha, in his book India After Gandhi. So this is one of the recommended reads for all Indians, especially for UPSC aspirants if you have time. India After Gandhi. We take references from India After Gandhi in our GS classes. So he says that Article 370 reflects Nehruvian belief in pluralism and federal flexibility. Pandit Nehru did not accord 370 or the government of India because of anything else, but also because we wanted that all of India, despite its diversity, is integrated and feels this sense of Indianness, not by force but by consent. So that is why our constitution, although it is more and more inclined towards the union to maintain the integrity and unity, it also allows for a considerable space for federal flexibility. A.G. Noorani, another constitutional expert, has mentioned that Article 370 So A.G. Noorani, if we see in his book Article 370, A Constitutional History, of Jammu and Kashmir. So he has mentioned in his book that Article 370 was also an outcome of 1949 Delhi Agreement between the Government of India and Sheikh Abdullah. So we can see that yes, it was a difficult time. We wanted to integrate in a peaceful way. We wanted to ensure that the people of Jammu and Kashmir also have a say. But unfortunately, because of irresponsible behavior of Pakistan, it could not happen. And in fact, VP Menon, you must always quote VP Menon. VP Menon in his book, Integration of Princely States, has written that the integration of Jammu and Kashmir and giving special status to it was a pragmatic necessity because the entire episode happened under a lot of pressure. So that is why when we talk about the historical circumstances, we must take into account not only the factors but these opinions also. When we talk about integration of princely states in our GS classes, we go into each of these episodes and try to understand not only the developments but the logic and the circumstances in which the integration happened and various constitutional provisions which were accorded to these and the sixth step of integration. So in this brief video, I have tried to give you a summary, analytical summary of the circumstances, and when we meet for the GS classes, we will do this topic in detail. Thank you all of you.